Hey guys, it's Bumblebeepaws here with a new video. So, for those of you who are new to my channel, which is pretty much everyone, judging how this is my first video, I'm talking about Warriors, a series by Aaron Hunter. So, if you don't know what that is, I'd suggest looking it up. Otherwise, you're definitely going to be lost during this video. So, yeah. Anyways, on to the video. So, before I get to the actual countdown, I'd like to list some runner-ups. So, these are basically the cats that I don't like as much as they're not my favorites, but I still love their characters, and they're just not top 10. Alright, so my first runner-up is Thrushpelt. Oh my gosh, he's such a sweet character, and I really loved his character and how he loved Blue Star and fathered her kids, even though he wasn't the actual father, and she didn't return his affections, yet he still acted as a father figure for her kids and was just an all-around nice clanmate. In Spotted Leaf's Heart, which is a recent novella that came out, I think, he's Spotted Leaf's mentor. And he's really understanding about the whole situation of her wanting to become a medicine cat, and he's just a really nice guy altogether. I also really enjoyed Swirltail? Oh gosh, I can't pronounce Leaf. But she was a background character, which is why she's not actually on the list. But she was kind of a selfless, nice motherly figure, and her relationship with Brackenfur I just love because it's a simple warrior-cat relationship, and it's not doesn't have all this drama mixed into it, and I like her, and she's perky, and she's sweet, and she was a good friend to Leafpool even when she got demoted. When she died, that was so sad, and she's just a really selfless character that's sweet, and I like her. Anyways, on to the actual countdown. So, number 10 is Snowfur. And she's lower on this list, mainly because she was more of a background character than our protagonist, Blue Star. Okay, so after her mom's death, she was still, really optimistic and happy. And even though she was saddened by Moonflower's death, of course, she was still, like I said, optimistic and happy. And she seemed like an enjoyable cat to be around, honestly, because she was perky and sweet all the time. And, yeah. And she liked Thistleclaw, and she didn't give up on their relationship, even when Blue Star, well, same character, even when Blue Star disapproved. And she was a really good mother to Whitekit, too, and she was gentle and loving, and just seemed like a nice character. Alright, number 9 is Longtail. So I know a lot of people don't like Longtail, and he was a really big nuisance in the first series, don't get me wrong. But what I really enjoy about him is how he developed. So when he first meets Firestar, he's hostile and he's not open to having a kitty pet in his clan, and then later down the road, Tigerstar's treachery is exposed, but Tigerstar invites Longtail to come with him. He asks him to come with him, and Longtail, even though he has this dislike for Firestar, and I'm not sure about, I think he always respected Blue Star. I'm not. He remains in ThunderClan, and he remains loyal to them. And, oh, right, and then Swiftpaw's death as well. That was another difficult thing for him because he felt like it was his fault. And then eventually, later on the road, Firestar becomes leader, and Longtail is loyal to him and is one of his supporters and acts like a really nice, supportive clanmate. I like it how Longtail, they don't make him, lose his personality. And I honestly got really irritated when they blinded him. I wasn't that irritated because they blinded him, that it was by a rabbit and he couldn't have gotten killed. Blinded, I mean. Honorably, fighting a cat, a rogue off their territory, or something like that. Number 8, Mapleshade. Okay, so don't get me wrong, I really, I'm not a fan of evil cats. I really don't like Scourge or any of the, or Tigerstar or Broken Star. I don't like them. But Mapleshade, I really liked her. She's not just the let's kill a character or something like that. She actually, she's manipulative, and she tricks cats into doing things that she wants, which is manipulation. Yes, I know, I just repeated the same thing, but I like that about her, and she doesn't just use her mind. She doesn't just use her claws. She uses her mind too. Number 7, Squirrel Fight. So I like Squirrel Flight, again, because of her development, and just because of her personality nowadays. Like, I really like that. And so she starts out this really annoying Furbo that, like, nobody can stand, like, not even her mentor. Like, he despises her. And so she's just really irritating in the beginning. And then she, like, slowly progresses into this, like, strong, independent, admirable cat. And I really like that. And so during, like, the Great Journey where they move territories, she matures a lot, and I really like her for that. And she goes through so much with Brambleclaw, with the whole "they're not my kids," and with the whole Hollyleaf, Jayfeather, Lionblaze, Leafwool, Crowfeather turnout. And I just like how she turned out because of it. And yeah, and her relationship with Brambleclaw, or Bramblestar now, whatever, I really liked. Anyhow, on to number 6. Right, number 6 is Cinderpelt. So this one's pretty obvious. A lot of people like Cinderpelt. And I like Cinderpelt because she's just such a wonderful character. And she's not like the 90% of medicine cats who break the medicine cat code and have a forbidden love. Oh, gasp. And she actually sticks to the code, and even though she had a crush on Firestar, which I hate that they had to ruin this perfectly good platonic relationship and be like, oh yeah, Cinderpelt had a crush. Like, oh, that bothered me. But whatever. Anyways, so she actually sticks to the medicine cat code too, and that's great. What else? Oh, yeah. And so, again and again, I love how she develops. So after she gets crippled by Tigerstar, she slowly progresses with the help of Leafpool and Firestar into this strong, like, independent medicine cat. And I really liked her. And she was just gentle and sweet, but she wasn't afraid to speak her mind, and she'd never let her injury, like, hold her back. She would always believe she could do this or that. And it was just really nice seeing her character. And, I love her. Right, number 5 is Waitstorm. I love Waitstorm. So he's such a wise and admirable cat who has self-respect, but he's not arrogant like half the other warriors back then. And he's welcoming and dependable, and despite his backstory where his mom dies and his dad turns evil, and his foster mom, which was pretty much Bluestar, she pretty much raised him, I think. She was always fighting with this LaClaw, and that must have been hard on him. And her death took him hard because he believed it was his fault, and I'm sure that his father's death at least rattled him a little bit. And so a lot of characters would have turned out like a lot differently because of that. But Waitstorm, he instead of becoming arrogant or just pitying himself, he channels his like energy or whatever into being a good clanmate, and he's such a good deputy, and he just seems like a nice cat to be around, and he's dependable, and he sends out, like, when he helps Firestar with his duties, and that's just nice. What else? Oh yeah, so in the Darkest Hour, Firestar, when he appoints him as deputy, Waitstorm has this look of surprise on his face because he never expected he was going to be appointed the deputy. He never thought he was going to get the position, and he's just that kind of cat who doesn't really think he's entitled to stuff, and that's just a nice quality. And I just loved Waitstorm. He was a good cat. And he was like the only cat that died in that great battle with BloodClan. I'm like, how is that even possible? He's the only cat from the clans that died, I think. I'm like, what? And of course it was Waitstorm. I'm like, ah. Anyways, number 4 is Needletail. So if you haven't read Shattered Sky, then you're absolutely going to be like, what the heck? She's such a nuisance and awful, and I agree with that. Don't get me wrong. Let me explain them. So Needletail starts out as a really irritating, full of herself character, and who I honestly hated. I despised Needletail, and I was hoping that, like, Outerheart would not end up with her, because, that would have been awful, and it would have been forbidden relationship and medicine cat breaking the code, and whatever. Anyways, so I really hated Needletail in the beginning, and she was just irritating, and she acted entitled, and Oh yeah, and so she stayed this way through the Princess's Quest and Thunder and Shadow. And since we got the perspective of Violet Paw, we saw a lot of her, and she was just not a nice character to be around, honestly. She was just so awful. And so her character, yeah, stayed the same until her mate, which I think he was her mate, I don't really remember. But Rain died. Was killed by Darktail. And so she went through this grieving phase where it was interesting to see her different and actually sad about something. And not acting like entitled and stuff, and Darktail was questioning her loyalty, and she just seemed so broken, and it was interesting to read, and it was weird seeing her totally different like that. So she questioned Darktail's loyalty or whatever or authority, whatever. I don't remember what she did to piss him off, and so then she became a prisoner, and she still looked out for Violet Paw, which I found really nice and sweet. And when Violet Paw screws up and the poppy seed plan goes wrong, Darktail drags Needletail out with Sleek Whisker and Roach, and I hate those guys. But when the poppy seed plan goes wrong, Needletail sacrifices himself for Violet Paw, and this scene had me sobbing. So basically, so Darktail decides to punish Violet Paw by drowning her mother-like figure, or big sister figure, and so she knows that Needletail is her friend, and so he starts drowning her, and then Violet Paw is crying over here like, stop, don't do it. And then Darktail's like, maybe I should make, it's not her fault, I guess it was you. And so then he's like, okay, if Needletail kills you, then she can walk free, pretty much. I guess that was the idea. And so Violet Paw is terrified of just what's happening in general. And so Needletail starts circling her. And so she turns to face Violet Paw. And so Violet Paw is terrified. And then Needletail jumps over Violet Paw and attacks Sleek Whisker, Roach, and Darktail from behind. And so then she yells, and then she's like, Violet Paw, run, now make this count. That had me crying. And it's just so interesting to see how selfless she got at the end there, and how, I don't know, I just love how she developed into that character. And I know a bunch of other people probably have her as one of their favorite characters now because of that, and I'm just going to be hopping onto the bandwagon here, because that was a redemption moment for me, I guess, for her, and I was just... Alright, number 3. So, number 3, Elderheart. This guy is one of my favorite warrior cats. Well, obviously he's on the list, but anyways. So, Elderheart is such a unique character from all the other warrior cats. He's different from all the other protagonists, and he actually has these insecurities and worries and this anxiety, and he's more relatable than all the other protagonists we've seen, like Firestar and Brambleclaw. Oh god, he was awful to read. But and no other characters really display these emotions. And you see Elderheart worrying before he becomes an apprentice, is there going to be a test? I mean, I know that other kids don't get a test, but what if I do, and what if I fail? And he's just a more relatable character, and I really like that. And he did take Twigpaw under his wing. And he's such a big brother type of figure, and I just love their platonic relationship. Alright, number 2 is Sandstorm. So I really like Sandstorm. She's an amazing character, and a lot of people say she's annoying, and she honestly was pretty annoying in the first series, I'd say, but again, with the whole I love their development thing, because I do, and I really liked her development. And she turns from this bratty apprentice into this noble and witty warrior who a lot of people respect. And I just really like that. And I enjoyed watching Firestar and Sandstorm get together, and how she grew in the relationship, and how they both grew together. And her as an elder, I love Sandstorm as an elder. She's it's nice. Let's see. Alright, number 1, drum roll please. Number 1 is Hollyleaf. So I can't even express how much I love this character. Hollyleaf is so amazing, and I love her. Oh, she's such a good character. And so Hollyleaf started out as this whiny know-it-all, the warrior code is sacred, like, type of character, you know? But then she developed in a compassionate, loyal character, and she still cared about the warrior code, and I liked that about her, how she cared about the warrior code. Like, a lot of other cats kind of, they never bring it up, and it's just there, but she actually, like, brings it up and abides by it. And when Leafpool and Crowfeather, when their relationship was exposed, she was shattered because she was breaking the warrior code just existing. And that shattered her and devastated her, and that was so interesting to see it unfold and her character build from that. And I know that she killed Ashfur, and all those people out there are gonna be like, well, Hollyleaf murdered Ashfur, she should be in the dark forest, oh my god, she's such a bad cat, she's a murderer, like Tiger Star, oh my god. But I mean, Ashfur was gonna expose the secret of Leafpool and Crowfeather, and she was gonna screw everyone over, and he's so awful. And don't forget, Ashfur tried to kill her and her siblings, and probably, was he gonna kill, like, Squirrelflight? I don't remember. But, like, he was gonna kill all of them. And so I think that's reason enough, like, on its own. But what bothered me the most is how she was only brought back, like, to be killed off, like, in the next book. That really annoyed me. Anyways, I think that will conclude this video. Hope you enjoyed. Bumblebees!